Manila, Philippines. Lives were changed drastically on the morning of October 15th when a 7.2 magnitude earthquake struck Bohol province located in Visayas region, central Philippines. Churches, homes, schools, and hospitals were damaged in the initial quake, with many suffering further damage in the more than 3,000 aftershocks felt during the following 2 weeks. According to the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, 222 were reported killed and 976 were injured. It is further estimated that nearly 69,000 structures were damaged or destroyed. Officials are stating that this was the deadliest earthquake to impact the Philippines in more than 23 years, with the energy released equivalent to 32 times the power of nuclear bombs from the World War II era. While many were watching the newscast from the comfort of their homes, the Church of the Nazarene was on the ground, making a dramatic difference. The first Nazarene Disaster Response Assessment Team began arriving in Bohol just hours after the quake. The Philippine Field Office, in coordination with the Central Visayas District Superintendent, worked to determine the needs on the ground and the best response strategy for the church. Information was received that 2 of our churches had been hit hard, with at least 50 of our Nazarene families' homes either lost or having sustained significant damage. Local churches and districts across the Philippines began raising money to purchase food and supplies to meet the immediate needs of those impacted. Nazarene Compassionate Ministries also sent funds, and additional supplies and equipment were sent to the area. One of the goals of Nazarene Compassionate Ministries and Nazarene disaster response efforts is to build synergy and cooperation with other like-minded organizations, thereby making maximum impact with limited resources. This was demonstrated as Samaritan's Purse, Philippines, a Franklin Graham ministry from Boone, North Carolina, was engaged and became part of the response. A project proposal was submitted and an initial $9,000 grant was received. Administered by the Central Visayas District Church of the Nazarene, the second wave of relief goods began arriving by boat and truck on October 31st. It is hard to comprehend the gratitude felt by the recipients of the relief, many of whom were cut off from fresh water supplies when bridges which carried water lines were destroyed during the quake. Relief goods were just one small part of Nazarene Compassionate Ministries and Nazarene Disaster Response to Bohol. Crisis stress debriefing, training, and installation of water systems also took place. Through the Church of the Nazarene, thousands of families have been impacted at this critical time, over 900 just on the island of Sandigan alone. How is this possible? Because you support the World Evangelism Fund. The World Evangelism Fund is based on the concept that we can do more working together than could ever be done working alone. Assessment teams, disaster response coordinators, trained and equipped pastors, counselors, missionaries, and educators are strategically placed throughout the world to make a difference, not just during disaster, but 365 days a year. How could such a rapid response be made in Bohol? Because we already had 2 organized churches in the area and a district structure with trained leaders and Bible college students in place ready to make a difference. And when the disaster response is finished, you can be assured that there will be a stronger church with lives won to Christ. Why? Because those impacted have seen the tangible expression of Christ's compassion presented by a church that is there and will remain there for the people. Your gift to the World Evangelism Fund is desperately needed. While the church is not in crisis, funding of the mission is at a critical point. Giving to the World Evangelism Fund has declined, and the impact of significant cuts are being felt globally. Your World Evangelism Fund giving in Bohol made a huge impact. To those who give and go beyond in funding the mission, let us extend our greatest heartfelt appreciation. For those of you who are wondering if the cause is worthwhile, be assured that your giving makes life-changing impact around the world. Together, we are carrying out the Great Commission, going beyond the walls of our churches and making Christ-like disciples in the nations. This is Todd Abisher reporting for WMC News, Manila.